My First Two Loves, Chapter 94, Dancing on Her Own. Hope you're all having a good day. I thought talking about my future with Noah and Mason would make it easier for me to tell Ava, but I was headed over to where we were meeting. I couldn't help but feel my stomach tie itself into knots. I wanted her in my future now and always, but whether distance would make our hearts grow fonder or grow apart, I wasn't sure. This woman just loves love. As I approached the address Ava had sent me, I realized it was a storefront, complete with a large empty window. Inside was dark, and I checked our texts again to make sure I was at the right place. Where are you? When I didn't get an answer, I tried the door and found it unlocked. Cautiously, I poked my head inside. Hello, is anyone here? Boo. Ava flung open the door, giggling as I staggered in and into her arms. Is it a little early for a haunted house? Maybe, but it's never too early to get your heart pumping. She took my hand in hers, and I followed her shadow deeper inside as we felt along the walls for a switch. And there. Lights flickered on, revealing an old dance studio. The wooden floor had just been polished, and the room still smelled like a fresh coat of paint. Still, Ava let my fingers glide out of hers, and I watched as she jumped, spun, and twirled around the empty room. Her reflection matched her move for move in a large mirror wall, and when she finished out of breath, her eyes met mine in the glass. Well, any guesses on what my thing is yet? Let me guess. You, joined a new dance company. Am I here to watch your first practice? Not exactly, but you're pretty close. How about I give you a hint? She strode over and took my hands in hers as she stared into my eyes, her smile soft. This place is the start of all my dreams come true, and I can't wait to have you by my side for every second of it. Immediately my thoughts went back to the letter in my pocket. More important than what this place was where it was, and so far the location was not in my favor. Ava, there's something you should know. As the words bubbled up, I felt every part of my body tense. A little ache in my chest made me pause, but I forced them out. I got into photography school in New York. I leave in a couple months. I prepared for Ava's face to fall, or some sign of her sadness that would be leaving. But instead, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. And I'm also unsurprised. Your work is amazing, Emma. You're okay with it? I thought that, with this being so new, and me, and being so far away, that I might want to trade you in for a more local model, please. Ava pulled me in close, winding her arms around my waist, her fingers playing at the small of my back. Graduation is right around the corner, and life starts the second we cross the stage. You have to go after what you're passionate about, and you're not the only one who's been busy lining up their future. Have you figured it out yet? Are you starting a business? Not any business. A dance studio. My dance studio. But what about college? I'm not going, and the truth is, I'm not sure I ever really wanted to. But you did all the interviews, filled out all those applications, went on the tour. Yeah, but the whole time I was walking around, I couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't right, and now I know why. Not everybody is meant to go to college, and that's okay. It doesn't make me any less intelligent, any less cultured, or any less of a person. I can make my own opportunities right here, and it's just as much as of a learning experience as a time on campus. I could feel my jaws hanging open, and I did my best to close it. The whole thing was bold. It was adventurous. It was completely Ava, through and through. Wow, you're really not going to college. You think I'm crazy, don't you? I think it doesn't matter what I think, or anybody else for that matter. You're following your heart, and at the end of the day, the only opinion that matters is yours. So, what do you think? I think I've never been this happy before, and I get to make this place entirely my own, and I already have my first student. Already. Who? Hazel, Noah's sister. I reached out to thank them for giving me the idea, and he signed her up on the spot. Probably to get out of the practicing his shimming in the park. Wait, what? Yeah, she needed help with a routine, and once I realized I could do that for a living, I didn't want to do anything else. Ava, It's perfect for you. Now that you've said it, it really does have a great fit. You're going to be the best teacher. I hope so. And who knows, this may be just the beginning. Well, since you got the location and the clientele, the only thing left to do is now open the doors. I wouldn't say that's the only thing. We still gotta break it in, and I think I know just how to do it. Her eyes dropped to my lips, heat flushed through my neck and cheeks. Here I thought we were in for a dancing lesson. Here. She brought her forehead to rest against mine, and I could feel the heat of her body radiating through me. There's only so much time before you'll be heading off to college. I want to make as many memories as we can before everything changes. What do you say? Bring it on, I guess. She closed the distance, and our lips moved feverishly. I couldn't help but slip my hands on her thighs as her tongue flicked at the bottom lip. She broke the kiss, drawing her lips across my jaw and down my neck, all while caressing my chest, hips, and any bare skin she could find. No wonder you have your own business. You definitely aren't afraid to go after what you want. And don't tell me you're surprised. She closed her lips over the point where my pulse fluttered and sucked. Ava, please. Writhed in pleasure and desperation as she worked against me, my hands grabbed at her waist, slipping eagerly under the fabric. Did you want something? I'm a little busy at the moment. My hands glided down her body to grip her thighs, and with a sudden burst of strength, I lifted her against the mirrored wall. Emma. Her legs tightened around my waist, pulling me closer against her body. One of her hands tilted my chin up to look at her. You got me right where you want me. What are you gonna do about it? I leaned up and kissed my way up her chest, my lips hot against her skin. I could feel her shudder in my arms. She clutched my head against her body. Smirking, I placed my thigh between her legs and listened to her breath grow ragged. And the more she moved against me, the longer I wanted to stay against her body, and the more I wanted to feel that with her. Ava, you feel amazing. The words came out muffled as I returned to her lips, firing passionate, and my chest swelled with pride as I felt her moan against my lips. You're not having all the fun. Ava set her feet back on the floor and pivoted, so she had me pressed against the mirror. I was at her mercy. I have a little surprise for you. For a moment, my heart raced in anticipation as a dozen thoughts ran through my head, but she lifted her shirt away from her stomach, her chest over her head, until she stood before me gorgeous in her pale pink bra. That's better. Now it's my turn. I felt as her hands tugged gently at my clothing. A silent question, feverish, I tore them away. And for a moment Ava just drank inside of me, nearly naked beneath her. Is everything alright? I'm just committing it to memory because every time I walk into the studio, I want to think of you like this. I pulled her against me, loving the feel of her skin against mine as she explored every inch of me. Her hand traveled down. Ava, you're... As she touched me, my eyes slammed closed and my head arched back, every nerve in my body becoming alive. My breath hitched and I cried out. That good, huh? Better. I opened my eyes to see Ava's attention focused on me and my own expressions. I reached forward. I touched Ava the way she touched me, drawing a high gasp from her lips. Let me make you feel what I do. Oh God. As Ava pulled me tight against her, I matched her motions, listening as her breathing came fast and hard. She collapsed against me, hair plastered to her cheeks. That was amazing. We both panted, trying to calm our fluttering hearts, as I felt as if I was glowing. Should we stop while we're ahead? I looked in her eyes, wondering how to categorize what we had just done. Had we hooked up? Where was the line? There's more? A lot more. Yeah, I'm not ready for that yet. Ava leaned forward and kissed me sweetly, her lips lingering on mine. Take your time. I'll be right here when you are. I leaned into her arms and we settled on the floor of the studio together. My head on her chest, gently she stroked a line up and down my back. Ava, that was... I know. For me too. In that case, I declare this dance studio broken in and ready to accept all students you could hope for. Here's hoping. For the moment, her hand froze on my back, and when I looked at her face, she gazed off, deep in thought. I talked a big game to my parents to get them to put up the money, but I'm trying to start a business right out of high school. What happens if people don't take me seriously because I'm so young? What if I fail? That's a risk with anything, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try. I don't know, it just feels like everything's going too smoothly, like it can't be this easy this soon. Things don't always go this good. That's why you gotta enjoy the little things while you can. Not spend all your free time waiting for the other shoe to fall. I just want this to go right. I want to show that all the doubts were pointless because I made the right decision for me. I think the best way to do that is to let yourself be confident. You know you can do this. Believe in yourself. Don't let fear of what other people may think stifle you before you even get started. Ava sighed and nuzzled against me, and in that moment, nothing else mattered. You always know just how to make me feel better. Years of practice. Well, the pep talk maybe, but not for everything. That really was the perfect send-off. Hey, I'm not letting you send me anywhere just yet, and even after I go, I'll stop by whenever I'm in town and help you teach the kids a few moves. That's a bit of a trip from New York just to visit me. For you, no distance is too great, and with all the progress Mac and I have made with my dad this year, we want to stay close, so I'll be home pretty often. Well, good. Because as proud as you as I am for getting into your dream school, I'm really gonna miss you. Trust me, you won't get the chance. You're gonna be stuck with me for a long time. My hand reached up to cup her cheek, and I pulled her close, breathing in the scent of her perfume. And in that moment I would have promised her anything to watch her sad frown melt away. But Ava bit her bottom lip, and instead, as she started to speak, a sinking feeling invaded my stomach. That's sweet. You're sweet, Emma. But don't get me wrong, I like the thought, I just need to know, stuck with you how? Ava, I care about you so much. I don't know where my life is going yet, but I do know I want you in it. She nodded and then lifted her face from my grasp, and I tensed as I felt her literally slip through my fingers. That doesn't answer my question. Suddenly the sinking feeling felt familiar, and I realized I'd felt this way before with both Mason and Noah. It was the feeling of running out of time, and something told me I wouldn't get any more. Emma, all any of us want is for you to be happy, but we deserve the answers we need to move forward, either as friends or something more. Ava, I'm working on it. And I don't want to go to prom with only a third of a date. It's time for you to make a decision, or I'll have to move on, with or without you. Yes! This is why Ava is so much more mature than our MC. Because congratulations, Ava is like the most logical sounding one here. Even though we're kind of being forced onto her. But I digress. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hand out description below, links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support me and my content. I'll go ahead and say the following. Noah and Mason, they're all for slow and steady, and also the fact that the details for our quote-unquote intimate moments with them pale in comparison to Ava's. They really do pale in comparison. So, with that being said, clearly Pixelberry is driving us towards Ava, and people have argued the fact that people are doing that because it is to allow you the experience of a female perspective, going and becoming quote-unquote open. And going for that world, which I hate to break it to you folks, but if you think back, and I know you may not have the memory that I do, but we went through the same thing with Zig, and the community broke up in halves, and one side hated the idea, the other side liked the idea, and both sides fought, and I was in the middle, and I made my statement, and it has stood there throughout time and space, and will continue to stand there because I'm a person who's an open-minded individual who actually doesn't think of such narrow-minded perspectives. So with that being said, this is kind of the same perspective, except for Pixelberry slamming us into the other person versus Zig. He was at least an open-ended choice. Yeah, just throwing that out there. So without further ado, hopefully Pixelberry will learn from this, but a lot of people and the consensus from the community so far is Joyce's is slowly going downhill. No surprise, the book is, 95 chapters starting today? So, yeah, and whoever's writing this is basically doing this on their own merit and just pushing us. Imagine being forced to be a male love interest for the, 90% of the female community that actually does these books. Imagine being forced to be a male and being forced into another male. Some women may be okay with that. Most women will not. Same thing stands for a lot of other things, but I digress. Thanks again for watching. Catch y'all later. Peace out.